curious to see Shawnee State, Shenandoah University going to go up against each other in this Lijiang map. Number 1, NACE Tournament Match Numero Uno, because I definitely failed my Spanish class. And, of course, Shenandoah University on that Orisa TP brawl. You're going to see Shenandoah playing pure brawl. They want you to walk into them. Yep. And with Transform already gone, Shenandoah is comfortable in this fight.
And that's huge. That is the cooldown that you're looking for. Vitali Teleporter is set up and ready, but nobody ends up taking it. The wall in. Dragonblade rushing towards the backline. Managed to grab Zephyr out from underneath. Exactly what Shenandoah needed to do with this composition. Just ignore all of the team. Look for those supports where they're the most vulnerable, and that's going to get them that first cap.
Dragonblade X not even going to give... Oh!
Okay. I kind of feel bad for that guy.
Yeah, I do too. Zephyr. Yeah, and you know, Shenandoah, I need to see that transform coming out from Shawnee State. Oh, okay, this fight's just going to be gruesome.
That's done. That's done. I mean, you get the Blizzard out. Do they catch anybody is the question. No, they don't. But that sound barrier is there. Oh. Dragonblade X in with their Terra Surge of their own. Yep, this is Shenandoah getting ready to close out Night Market. And what a dominant fashion to be able to do so. Shawnee State weren't allowed any room to even shoot, to be totally frank with you.
Yeah, and Zephyr is forced to use Captive Sun to get on the point, but it's not going to matter. Shawnee State only built 2 ultimates, or 3 ultimates, that entire game. I mean, I'm okay with this switch, but at the same time, you have to get so far into the backline of Shenandoah to get any value. And with King Kong Poppy and Enders on that support line, no one's going to die.
No, especially with this walls from Voidex. I mean, this sets Shawnee State so far. I mean, Zephyr once again being that first elimination.
I am curious to see how this one's going to go. You lose that May wall, but you're going to get a lot of burst damage going in.
The burst damage will be very helpful for things like the Bastion and Happy and maybe keeping Basilisk off of your backs. And this TV window, ooh, this is exactly what you need. King Kong Poppy's going to filter them into a corner, even trying to pick up eliminations of his own. Beautiful teleport. This is the positioning that we're talking about from Shenandoah right now. They attack from so many different angles because of Vitali allowing their teammates to get into these very hard to reach positions, and it's going to win them fights time and time again.
Shenandoah has this tire and is ready to go as there it is, popped from Voidex.
Yep, that's all he needs to do. Buy your time, wait for the win con to come online. Voidex is going to be hunting from the behind, spots the Lucio, but spots the entire team as well. Still able to grab poor old Zephyr, just having a beating on the Lucio right now, and that's a terrible spot for Shawnee State to be in. They're out in the middle of nowhere. No Lucio to speed them out either. This is going to be final fight.
But with no support ultimates.
Oh no! The teleporter! No, I hate it when that happens. The teleporter, you're trying to get onto the point, but ended up on the rocket. Now Enders is set up for a perfect elimination. Oh, you do not want to be playing Lijiang Tower when Enders is on the other team. Isn't done yet. Still going in to crack up these eliminations, and wow, what another fight from Shenandoah. Completely thwarted Shawnee's plan. It gets some of that momentum back, but King Kong Poppy is still alive in the backline. Managed to pick up 2. Only the Reaper Basilisk, the last one remaining, and not a lot of health to be able to clean this one up. Shenandoah better be thanking your support line for keeping Vitali alive and taking out Shawnee State in the final seconds for a first map win.
On this comp, you don't have that type of mobility. You have to make sure that you aren't losing every single fight because you're going to be going forward. Shenandoah does have the ultimate abilities to go forward here.
Huge! Dragonblade X completely negated that ultimate. Ooh, that Sunstrike could have been brutal, and now they don't even have to worry about it. Shenandoah, that is a huge way to turn that momentum around, and of course, Vitali's teleporter is going to help this off angle that they're able to pressure from. Nobody is even looking up there just yet because Shawnee State, they're so worried about Dragonblade X in the front line, or almost the back line, at the point that they've ended up rotating to, and Shenandoah, they're willing to full committed to this, but so is Shawnee State. Those ultimates kept coming out, and Shenandoah, despite getting that first pick, despite having that upper hand, will fall to Shawnee's persistence.
More ability, but Dragonblade X looking for a sneaky play as here it comes.
Ooh, straight down from the top ropes. Nobody expected it. They have to try to get away, but the Amplification Matrix and the Immortality Guild in tandem. Dotbets did a great job keeping their team alive, and Dragonblade X didn't stand a chance against all of that utility simply just at their face. So Shenandoah, they don't have a tank. They don't have that spearhead to lead in with. So Shawnee State, they're going to get pretty close to completion before a retest happens. Shenandoah, they only get about half their team through, which Dragonblade X isn't going to fare too well against that. And ooh, barely managing to stay alive, get to the cover. Both the supports made it to the high ground. They have to kite back around the side, but look at that positioning. Dragonblade X knows exactly where King Kong Copy and Epictors are at all times, and that is critical information. It allows those rotates to come through, and Shawnee State, they still don't know where they should be standing. It catches Basilisk off guard, and the rest of the team is about to get snowballed. As a result, as soon as that first elimination goes through, normally they would be able to capitalize, and if Vitali didn't get way too over-aggressive there. So 4v5 now on the objective. Shawnee State are going to want to re-push this, but waiting for their last player to kind of get back in here, get those cooldowns out of the way, but they didn't watch for Voidex, with all that damage raining in, builds up the artillery strike on the Bastion, so even if Shenandoah backs off here, they have several win cons to work with.
60%. Shenandoah looking to either, I prefer them to go first here. Like I said earlier, you want to control that tempo. Try to force out the window, force out that multiplayer with your ultimates by going first, as Voidex will be the first one to press Q, and this could be it if someone dies.
What a boop do! The assist coming in from Enders, the comms. I see them coming to life on my screen. Shenandoah University, those hours of scrim, those 50 hours they were played during the summer, Ryan, oh, they paid off. They 100% did, just for plays like that. And that is that final leg in sight once more. Shawnee State, they're down in resources, have to hope for a great terror search. I'm happy to shut it down, but Dragonblade X has one of their own, needs to get up there, but with a lot of their teammates being low, the initiation needs to happen. Now looking for a safe time to do it, but is stuck between a rock and a hard place. In it goes. Several players caught Immortality Field to keep him alive through the damage, but not long enough. The trade is there. Minute remaining. Vitali and Voidex doing all the damage necessary to compensate for the loss of their tank. Shenandoah University, they get melted this through. They practically taste it. They're licking the floor at this point, because that golden box of victory is almost just about to be there. Shawnee State no longer able to contest, and that's a 2-0 for the Hornets. I think that's the one beneficial thing of Shawnee State swapping their comp, is that you don't have to worry about coming up behind, but uh-oh, did Shawnee State expect this? Is there a danger room behind? Ooh, it's a very nice fake to come through, but everyone's hit with that Sunstroke effect, so need to be very cautious. Zephyr, I should say, needs to be more cautious, because, buddy, you're doing it to yourself at this point. That's really all I gotta say. You do not look Voidex in the eyes and expect not to get hit. That's just simply not how that works whatsoever. It's been doing such a great job on this May, and Shenandoah, they pulled out the cheese, and they absolutely aced it.
I'm honestly perfectly fine with that. I'm just glad the ultimate went off and was able to get that value that it needed. It really did. And now Shenandoah in this final fight territory. The Arrest is blocked off.
Oh, there it comes. The Terror Surge happy. Ooh, gonna be staying alive, but Dragonblade X falls so incredibly low, has to back off to get some healing from these support players, but they're both on the high ground, not really in those sight lines, so give up a lot more space here to Shawnee State, and that Death Blossoms have been a disaster. They spot Basilisk up on the high ground. They were looking for a flank, gonna drop down onto the Baptiste. Dragonblade X, this is not gonna end well for them at all. Somebody has to come up clutch. It's Enders. Only the 2 players remaining receive that sound barrier, and unfortunately in a 2-5-5 scenario, it's not going to go well for those 2 that are remaining, and Shawnee State are getting themselves on the board with Circuit Royale.
Yeah, and now Shenandoah are going to be able to continue forward here with a few ultimates to their names, including Overclock and Artillery Strike. However, in terms of Shawnee State, they're going to have some of their own. So Shenandoah needs to make a fast approach in this fight, as they're going to be approaching this angle where I was mentioning that high ground is going to be where a lot of that poke is going to be coming from. And Shenandoah may not want to play that if they were on the Brawl, but we're not on Brawl, are we? We're on poke. And in my opinion, a better poke than Shawnee State's Brawl.
Yep, we were able to hold on to it from last time, and that is the discipline right there from Shenandoah. To be able to conserve their resources from when they need it, or just have Voidex pop off. Like you said, the bestest Sojourn out there has been consistently getting these first eliminations, and it's been paying off so well for the Hornets. They don't even have to commit the ultimates into these fights, saving them for the long game so that they're able to take multiple fights and win them simultaneously.
I just have to say it really quick. If Dragonblade X was a chef, he'd make the best kebabs, because all these javelins are just nailing, dead on, with perfect precision. And now Shenandoah going to be looking to take this fight once more. They're just going to leave the bot there and force Shawnee State into it, and this is the type of push that I like to see.
This is it, because Shenandoah, they don't need to get the win at this point. They have such a lead right now. All they have to do is play where the fight suits them best, and it is right here at this spot, and Dragonblade X going to go into the back line to chase down the life of Zephyr and just bully the guy even more, because apparently Zephyr has not suffered enough throughout this entire map. And I mean, this is the turnaround that Shenandoah has. This is the skill, that comms that they have.
Yeah, I mean, Shenandoah, you may not have finished the map yet. Okay, Voidex not going to leave it out.
Voidex still not done. This guy is cooking. Literally, the coaches say, if you all you got to do is get Voidex on the streets and let him cook until he stops. And this guy isn't going to stop until that robot crosses that golden check mark, and it is just meters away from doing so. Voidex leading the charge for their team in this last section action. Zephyr still manages to get that pick off. Ooh, Dragon Blade X struggling to hang on to life. As much work as Void X has put in, it is not looking good for the Hornets to close it off just yet. Zephyr's not playing Zenyatta. Zephyr's playing a moving target in the eyes of Void X. Like, seriously. And even Basilisk, wow, like you said, skewering these players. I mean, Dragon Blade X has been just stepping up on this map. I wanted to see the Orisa, and this is why, Riot, because Dragon Blade X just does this so darn well. There are not many tank players that can pull off what he's doing in terms of the mechanics of everything, and this is the final 33 seconds here. All Shenandoah have to do is win one more fight, and this map, this series, is going to go ahead and be theirs. They can afford to lose a couple players. They can afford to get a regroup and reset and just conserve the tools that they have, but Enders doesn't want to do that. They want to win this fight now. It forces the Transcendence on the other end, and look how aggressive Zephyr is right now. Into the backline, punches around the kicks. Enders in the jaw that takes out the main support, but Void X is still alive, still kicking. The overclock coming in for the third and final time. Makes up for every single Blizzard back on circuit, because here they are 3-1 for this first match of the season.